Hello everyone, this is Dominic from Tonebase, and I'm really excited today to be talking about the Tonebase Los Angeles Music Intensive at the Colburn School. So that very starting soon page that you guys were seeing is a view from actually one of the terraces of Walt Disney Concert Hall looking down onto Grand Avenue and in turn the Colburn School. So it's that's where this wonderful event's going to be happening. I'm really excited today to be answering all of your questions, talking about some of the events that will be happening, giving you guys a little bit of the lifestyle of what this intensive is going to entail. And most importantly, as was mentioned, we're actually having a flash sale, a discount, a 10% off discount sale from today for the next 48 hours. And the discount code will be announced later in the stream. So if you have any questions, feel free to use the blue Ask button if you're watching on Tonebase, or if you're watching elsewhere, feel free to type your questions in the chat. So really looking forward to getting started. And I think what I might do is actually pull up our landing page so we can take a look at it together, which should be right over here. So this is this wonderful event that we've got going on in May. It's going to be an 8-day intensive from May 22nd to the 30th. There's one day off in between them. You'll notice the session 1 date is May 22nd to the 25th. Session 2, May 27 to 30. So Memorial Day, May 26th, is a day off for people to travel in and out of the city and not disrupt the programming. In addition, for anyone that's choosing to stay for the full session, Memorial Day will be an opportunity for us to do some fun activities together, whether it's take a tour of the Tonebase studio, which is actually only a few blocks away from the Colburn School, or whether it's also doing some other relaxing but musically minded activities that day. So that'll be announced closer to the event, but stay tuned for that fun time. But this event is definitely going to be a lot of fun for any music lover. So we've got a number of different instruments. We've got piano, we've got guitar, violin, cello, and flute. So it's important to note that for flute, we only have a session 2 offering currently. So that's, if you're any flutists, I know we've had a few sign up. Definitely looking forward to seeing you in those the latter part of this session. But one of the interesting aspects about this very program is the fact that it is multi-instrumental. So this will be actually Tonebase's first event that is going to be all these different instruments together. So we'll be having private lessons, we'll be having masterclasses, workshops, clinics. We'll be having also a wonderful opportunity for all of you guys to have chamber music experiences with each other. So in the intake form, after you sign up, there's all these different questions that we ask you to get to know you better, to get to know you more. And one of the questions is whether or not you're interested in playing music with your colleagues, with your friends. And that's going to be something that we look forward to pairing you together into different groups so that you can play chamber music and even perhaps perform it on one of the recitals. So one of the most important things, obviously, about this event, of course, are all these different experiences. The daily lessons, the special presentations, practice spaces, faculty interaction, catered meals, and just being in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. So each session is going to be 4 days. And in those 4 days, you'll be having 2 lessons. So basically one every other day approximately. This is sort of a healthy amount of lessons. It's not too much. It's not too little. And what's important is that these are private lessons. But one of the things that we're really passionate about at Tonebase is that the lessons are open door. So, for example, while you might sign up for 4 days and have 2 lessons, the other 2 days you might not have any lessons. And so with the open door policy, you might choose to attend, of course, some spotlight events, some special lectures, but you might also decide to pop into your friends' lessons and watch and observe and learn. Because after all, you might be curious about playing that piece by Chopin or Bach or any other composer, but you haven't played it yet and you want to see it taught and you want to perhaps support your friends. So the open door policy is one of our most popular aspects of all of our real life events at Tonebase, which we've been doing the past half year or so. And people really like that sense of community and joining together to learn together. Now, to be very clear, those lessons are absolutely one-on-one. It's not a lecture to the group. It's very much about the teacher and the student that's in the hot seat, so to speak. It's really very much about that interaction, and the open door policy is only about observing those lessons. But again, with all of these instruments, we've got many different presenters that will be coming. And I'll be getting into some of the presentations and workshops soon enough, but they're certainly going to be very compelling. So we've certainly got a great lineup of instructors that will be coming. Garrick Olson, Anakiko Myers, Clive Greensmith, we've got Scott Tennant, myself, Christian, Chelsea. The list kind of goes on. We even have this terribly charming fellow, Jeremy Siskind. He's sort of our in-residence jazz instructor. So Jeremy is a jazz pianist, but he's really specialized actually in working with all musicians. And he's got a wonderful workshop in the first session called Jazz for All Musicians and All Levels. And here, he specializes in having classical musicians, bring their instruments, and basically work with them where they're at to start making some music that sounds jazzy, deals with some great licks, some improv, inspirations, rhythms, harmonies, and more. So we're really looking forward to having him the weekend of session 1. So if you're interested, and he's also teaching some private piano lessons as well, being a pianist. So if you're, if you are a pianist and you're curious about having lessons with him, you can definitely request to have some lessons with Jeremy. I believe on all of our platforms on Tonebase, we've got this new course called Theory in the blues style, so jazz theory basically, and Jeremy teaches that wonderfully. But we've got a few other wonderful guitarists, pianists, cellists, and violinists that will be coming. So very much looking forward to all of the faculty. And we'll actually be kicking off the entire event with a masterclass with this great artist that you see right in front of you, which is Garrick Olson. He's one of our all-time favorites on Tonebase, and pretty much anyone can learn from him. It will be a class that deals with particularly pianists, but again, the beauty of this event is that, I don't know about you guys, but as a pianist, I'm always curious to go to violin masterclasses. I'm really curious to learn from Anakiko later in the session. May 28th will be her class. Because after all, a great artist is a great artist. Scott Tennant, Clive Greensmith, all of the above. There's so much to learn from other disciplines and other ideas that will really get us outside of our boxes. So with Clive, session 1 to our left, we've got those instrument-specific masterclasses that are open to the public from Garrick, Clive, Christian, and Scott. And then some workshops that are definitely going to be instrument agnostic, in other words, not instrument specific. We've got myself, I'll be talking about the 4 components of memorization. We've got Magdalena Bachewska. She's a Bach expert, scholar, and more. So while she is a pianist, she really gives us so much amazing information about the style, ornamentation, and more. So that's something that I really encourage us to look for these different events and more. So I do want to jump back now and just take a look at some questions that we got coming up. I see lots of questions coming up. So this will be something that I'll be getting to. So thanks everyone for all of your questions. I'm going to get back to walking through the landing page now, but just wanted to check in briefly. So as we get back, again, there's Jeremy Siskind's Jazz for All Musicians and Levels. He's a lot of fun. For anyone that is coming to this event, there's a wonderful concert happening with the Los Angeles Philharmonic with the Grammy-winning and superstar artist Teddy Abrams, and also Jean-Yves Thibaudet. an amazing pianist. They're doing a concert at Disney Concert Hall with Gershwin's Piano Concerto. We'll be providing tickets to all the participants. So I believe it's on May 24th. There's a few performances, so if one of them doesn't work for you, you could go to a different evening performance. You'll just have to let us know about that, and we'll get your ticket purchased for you. But again, we'll be having a nice insider exclusive Tonebase only sneak preview of the concert with the very Teddy Abrams and Jean-Yves Thibaudet. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, to be able to hear the master conductor and guest piano soloist in a very intimate setting, talking with you guys, and you can ask all the questions that have been on your mind, whether it's what's it like conducting a full orchestra, what's it like playing in Disney Hall, and more. Teddy and Jean-Yves are so charming and so fun to be around, and I'm really looking forward to that sneak preview that's just for you guys, anyone that attends the event. I should mention, we're in a live stream right now, but this event, nothing will be live streamed, unfortunately. This event is really for people that are going to be attending it in real life. So if you're wondering about, maybe I could watch these events online or something, unfortunately, that's not something that we'll be offering for this event, because we want to respect everyone that makes that effort to come out and makes the effort to be there in person. And there will be archival footage of each event for the participants that come, so you could watch it back in a very private, controlled setting. But again, nothing will be recorded publicly, and we won't be live streaming any of these workshops and lectures. So just wanted to mention that and be very clear about that one. And our very own Ashley Lucero, who's part of the Tonebase team, she'll be giving a composition workshop in both sessions. So Ashley is a wonderful guitarist and composer, and over the years I've spoken to a lot of different Tonebase members and more about their dreams, aspirations, and more. And frankly, I'm with a lot of you. I want to write more music. I used to when I was a kid, and I want to get back into it. And if you're looking for like your first step, so to speak, and moving into your compositional journey, realizing what's in your imagination and getting it onto paper, these workshops are very compelling and very, very helpful. We've seen them being very popular on the Tonebase platform, and we're excited to have Ashley giving them to you. So this intensive might be an opportunity for you to start writing your very first piece, and that's a lot of fun and a great accomplishment for anyone. And if you want to take composition a step further, I would be remiss not to plug the new Tonebase music platform that will be launched in the springtime in mid-April. There we'll actually be having composition lessons, composition courses for you to further that adventure of composing in that very specific music overall platform. So more on that at a later point. But session 2 does have some really exciting artists. We've got Anakiko Myers, we've got Jasmine Choi. So Jasmine is obviously a wonderful flautist, however you want to say it. And we're looking forward to having her giving some select private lessons and a masterclass. And then we've got Scott, myself, and Benjamin Lash, who's on the faculty at the Colburn School. And then in terms of workshops and clinics for all instruments, Christian Kim is our head of violin, and he's a specialist, of course, in chamber music. So playing well with others is going to be a class that he gives. And then we're going to bring our head of voice as well, Heidi Vass, to talk about singing for instrumentalists. I don't know about you guys, but I really wish that I could sing better. And that's something that's always been on my mind for improving my playing. I took voice lessons in grad school, and that was the scariest moment of my life, doing a vocal audition, a jury is what they call them. And I'm looking forward to Heidi, kind of approaching all of us instrumentalists together and getting us singing with some tips, some healthy advice, and some help on how to get comfortable with that. I don't know about you guys, but it always stressed me out a lot when I was a kid, or even a few years ago, and someone would say, "Hey, can you sing that melody for me with your voice? And can you sing it and then play it?" And I, as not a singer, I never could sing very well, and it was always kind of embarrassing. So I've been meaning to take more singing lessons, and Heidi's going to be great at that. And then Chelsea Tanner, she's really a wonderful flutist, but also a wonderful lecturer in anxiety, performance, psychology, and organization. So looking forward to having her, Dr. Noah Hardaway on goal setting. We'll have a piano tech tour for any of the pianists that are curious. We'll be looking at the piano workshop of the Colburn School with Nima, the head piano technician, and getting into the details of that. And also, Ashley has a composition workshop. I should mention that we've got a final recital on May 30th, and also, I believe above, a session 1 recital on May 25th. So both of those are going to be in a recital hall at the Colburn School, which looks like this. This is the Mayman Recital Hall. It's a nice, intimate space. It's kind of a semicircle, as you can see, around the sort of the stage. And we'll have, again, 2 recitals, which are totally optional. You can play in them if you like, or just cheer your friends on if you prefer that. Really, all levels are available. Anyone can play that feels ready to sort of take the stage. If any of you have been to the Tonebase community concerts, especially on piano, you'll see just how generous and gracious everyone is, and how much fun we have together. And that's the sentiment that we really kind of take into real life as well. So if you're curious, what am I talking about? We actually have a springtime community recital on Zoom coming up on later in March, I believe mid-March, on a Saturday. We'll have one in April as well. You can join one of them, whether you're a pianist or not, and you can just see how the atmosphere is and more. And that's what's going to be there for us. So you can play chamber music, you could play solo music, and that's something for you to think about and maybe get excited about even right now, if you are if you're signed up and you're wanting to come to the LA Intensive. So definitely worth noting. So let's see, as we continue, let's see here. The one-on-one lesson experience. So we got 2 lessons per session. We have faculty selection, and this is where I should note a few important aspects of this. So we do have a few different enrollment options. We have a visitor pass, which is more of an audit where you can observe anything. You can't play or participate in classes, but you can watch and chat with your friends and stuff. But the visitor pass is just for observing. We also have an active and premium pass. So very simply, I'm going to actually maybe scroll down and show you guys those differences right now. Once this loads up. So if you look at the visitor pass, we do see that you can audit and observe lessons, and that's basically what that means. If we go to an active pass, there's other options available for us, such as participating in all activities, lunch provided, 2 lessons per session, ability to participate and sign up in all events. So that's what the active pass, and really the difference is the premium, which includes a few extra options. Mainly these 2 at the bottom, the priority teacher selection and a personal Zoom onboarding call. So the priority teacher selection, let's face it, there's some teachers that are going to be very popular, right? And when we're getting the schedules together, we try to honor all the requests the very best that we can. But the premium signups, we do prioritize their preferences and make sure that they're getting that selection. Now, the personal Zoom onboarding call is also very important. That's where, at least for piano, I would speak with you one-on-one for about 30 minutes, and we'll talk about the experience coming up. We'll talk about your goals. We'll talk about your repertoire. We'll talk about the teachers. I'll notice that you're playing for me, or you're playing for Magdalena, Jeremy, and we'll talk about what pieces we think would be best for the lessons. So that way you enter the intensive actually with a game plan. And while there's a lot of stuff going on, we can really talk through how maybe each day is going to look for you and what you want to be doing and more. This can be very helpful so that from day 1 orientation, you're not maybe feeling uncertain about what to do. Now, if you are an active pass member and maybe you don't get that Zoom call as part of the premium package, it's very easy to know what to do. Just walk into someone's lesson and just start watching lessons and getting a part of the day. So that's what my best advice certainly for anybody to just start watching lessons and getting involved. So I wanted to bring that to our attention as we continue along this landing page. But again, there's a number of different other things just to mention. That open door policy is outlined here. And we of course have some extracurricular activities like chamber music. I want to note that, again, lunch is provided each day. It's a private lunch on the 5th floor terrace in a private setting at the Colburn School. So that's where faculty, students, everyone will join together. Masterclass artists are invited. And we'll all basically just have a good time. We have a nice, generous 2-hour lunch where you could spend the whole time chatting with us about all things music, or you could pop into a practice room and start warming up for your lesson if you prefer. But the catered meals, chamber music, performance opportunities, Los Angeles Philharmonic tickets, the Memorial Day, the outing that we'll be planning, those are all different things that really contribute to this event. And I just wanted to go briefly over the schedule of events. So everyone will be having a unique schedule, of course, once we start building that out. Most likely starting April 1st is when we will be taking all of the submissions and actually putting them into the individual schedules. And the nice thing with Tonebase events is that you'll be able to see the master schedule. You'll be able to see basically everything that's going on. So you can see who's teaching, where, and when, so that you can audit and observe lessons very easily. So that way you're not only seeing your schedule, you're actually seeing the entire schedule. And so that's something that we'll be starting to put together April 1st, and we'll be getting that out well within a month. Also, April 1st, we'll be taking a look at all of the people that have opted in for chamber music. We'll be providing some suggestions, some pairings of repertoire, and we'll be setting up that whole component for you to get started with chamber music. But basically, the schedule of events is a pretty standard day. 8 to 12 will be lessons practice. 12 to 2 is lunch. 2 to 4 will typically be our spotlight event, unless there's a few unique dates where we'll have a different time for that, but that will be very rare. And then 4 to 6 p.m. is, again, lessons practice, studio classes, and breakout sessions. So you don't have to attend the entire day. That's been asked by a number of people. Do I have to be there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.? And no, you don't. This is just everything that's happening, and you can join in as much or as little as you want. There's really nothing required at the Tonebase Intensive, aside from showing up to your private lessons. You're not required to have lunch with us. You're not required to necessarily go to events, even though we think they're great and you should. We think that they're worth going to. But there's no rules or regulations regarding that. You can really make of it what you want. We're just providing the opportunity to hopefully have a really great time. So in general, that's pretty much the outline of how this event looks. I know that there's going to be there's some questions that I'm going to get to and more. And again, one thing I do want to mention is that there's an intake form after you sign up. There's also, again, a refund policy. 30 days before the event, you can get a full refund. 30 days, more than 30 days before the event, you can get a refund. If it's 30 days to the event, that'll be more of a case-by-case basis. In general, we don't offer a refund at that point, but do please email me personally so we can talk about your options in regards to that, because we want to make sure that you're happy, and we understand that situations can change, and all different types of events. So that's something that we can definitely talk through. So now I want to take a look at some of the questions that we'll get into and more. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go and take a look at. There's a lot of questions that I know are getting asked in the chat. So let's take a look. Actually, before I get there, I do want to talk about a few. I know there's some questions about the hotels and more in the area, so I do want to get into that really quickly. So, 1 second. And then we'll get to some of the questions. So let's see here. I'm just going to get rid of that. So the hotel that we do recommend is the Omni Hotel because it's that building right in front of you with the black awning. And actually right over to the left is Colburn. So if you see that kind of burnt red building, there's an apartment building in between, and then that burnt red building is actually Colburn. So you're talking about the same plaza. You're talking about 100 feet walk. Now, this is definitely the most convenient hotel that's relatively reasonably priced, I would say. And for anyone that will be staying there, certainly we're currently working out some group rates. So definitely, if you're coming to the event and you want to stay at the Omni, you should email me, and we can definitely get you our group rate discount. So that's something I want to mention to you about that. I also want to bring to our attention this particular map right here. So this is just a Google map, basically, or an Apple map, rather. And so you can see where different important locations are. So I've circled in yellow at the bottom of your screen the Omni Hotel, and then there's a plaza that takes you through the Museum of Contemporary Art over to the Colburn School, right over here. And then you can see just cat-a-corner is Walt Disney Concert Hall. And I think I saw in the chat the Kawada Hotel, again, is 1 block down. Certainly Kawada Hotel is going to be cheaper for sure. And that could certainly be an option for some people. There is a slight difference in the quality. The Omni is very, very nice. And I know the Kawada is a little bit more cheap. But, you know, a lot of students and a lot of people will stay there, for example, when they're auditioning to Colburn, which is actually that time of year right now. I know there's a lot of conservatory students that are auditioning. So these are the main, circled areas that I would recommend you concern yourself with. There's also the opera is right up there. If you see the music center right at the top of your screen, that's where the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion is. That's where the LA Opera does all of their events. There's also the hotel right across the street from the Disney Hall called the Conrad. Now that is a very expensive hotel, just to be blunt, but it's very, very nice, as you can probably imagine. For us, I'd say a nice average between the Conrad and Kawada is probably Omni, which is why we're maybe recommending that one the most. But Conrad, Kawada, those are options for you. So hopefully this map is a little bit helpful for us as we look at that. And I also wanted to just show you guys, as I'm looking at some of the questions, I actually wanted to take a look at just a little video of, let's see here, of the outside of the school, and I'll be playing this as I'm looking at some of the questions and more. Yeah, just wanted to get this playing. This is a nice little video that someone. Oh, it's not playing. 1 second. Let me just restart that really quickly. But this is a nice little video actually that someone made of the outside of the Colburn School, so you can see a little bit of what this downtown atmosphere looks like. So yeah, that's the school, of course, and then they're going to show you all around. But in the meantime, I'm going to take a look at some of these questions that are coming up for everybody, and we'll go from there. So let me see here, just pulling those up. 1 second. Let's see. But yeah, downtown it's very, very sunny, as you can see, and it's lots of arts, all types of arts activity going on. So let's see here. Apologies, I'm just pulling up this chat really quick. Let me see here. Seemed to have disappeared from me, but that's okay. Let's see here. There's a lot of questions, so I definitely want to get to all of those. Let's see here. But what are we looking at right now? This is kind of like the plaza area of the Colburn School, which is to your left, right there. And then there's some apartment buildings to the right. Okay. let's see here. Oh. Also, I see the quality's a little low, so I'm just going to increase that. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let's see here. So yeah, Anonymous was asking about recommended hotels, and I mentioned a few of those. And Jack Stewart, I see you have a question, and actually I'll respond. I'll send you an email about that because you're asking a little bit about your situation, which I'll definitely get back to you on that, Jack. Michael plus Choi is asking a question about any opportunities to play some chamber music with participants. Certainly. So chamber music is really a focus of this event. I'm just going to pause this briefly. Chamber music is going to be whether it's 2 pianists and 4 hands, whether it's violin and piano, maybe some violin, cello, piano, some piano trio. That's going to be something that, again, we're asking about your interest in the intake form. And then based on that interest, once we kind of compile everything and we take a look at who's interested, we'll start kind of making some suggestions, also based on approximate self-evaluation of level. For example, if someone says they're advanced, we might try to pair them with another advanced student, or if someone says they're beginner, maybe we'll try to pair them together, just to make sure that it's a little bit more of equal standing, and that way the repertoire makes sense and more. I just wanted to call your attention because right here, as we're walking up this steps, we've got the Colburn Cafe, and this is where all the dining will be. Now, actually, this area which we're looking at is the public area for dining and lunch. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. We actually will be eating upstairs in the terrace. You could eat here if you want, for sure, but we'll have a designated section for us. The building that you're looking at right now is also Colburn School, which is indeed also the everything to your right as well. Beneath the floor that you're actually looking at is an underground tunnel with practice rooms and all the studios. So the schools are actually connected beneath the surface. So that's something that I definitely want to draw your attention to. So yeah, and then this is the recital hall right to our right in front of us. And I think this little outdoor tour is ending in a minute. Yeah. So hopefully that gives you some idea about the atmosphere and more about this area. It's a very beautiful campus. I actually spent my postgraduate schooling at the Colburn School, so I know it intimately well, and it was by far one of the nicest schools I've ever attended. So really excited about that coming up. And then since we were showing the outside of the school, I kind of want to show you guys a little bit also of the inside. This is actually just me with my phone, just kind of showing you guys a little tour. Right now, we're actually going beneath that courtyard. This is that underground tunnel that I'm talking about, with all of the practice rooms and more. There's so many of them. We're just going to be walking actually to my studio right now, but we'll be having plenty of practice rooms for everyone to use. And I know there's a question about using practice rooms after 6 p.m. That should be possible. Certainly the school is becoming very empty at that point. And we'll just make sure to organize that. Basically, we're sort of reserving a block of time from 8 to 6 p.m. each day. That's what we're doing. And that's why we've got that blocked off. And I'm just walking, let's see, to my studio now to show you guys just kind of what that looks like. I think I'm struggling with the door to open it, my key card and everything. But you'll see that this is like generally what a studio would look like at the Colburn School, with 2 grand pianos, and oops, just gonna pause that and zoom right back over. Sorry, there we go. With 2 grand pianos. And Fazioli, Shigeru Kawai, and yeah, the instruments are wonderful. Neiman takes a great care of them. And for all the other studios, such as cello studios, violin studios, and more, there'd probably only be 1 piano in there. You don't need 2, but it's a similar kind of aesthetic with soundproofing, acoustic paneling, a nice clean, kind of modern look. So that's a little bit of a look at the inside and also exterior of the school. So now I want to get back to some of the questions and go from there. So let me see here. So yeah, answer chamber music. Absolutely. We'll be organizing that. So in the intake form, just make sure to say that you're interested and we can go from there. Tammy's asking about people sign up for extra lessons. So yeah, so right now, that's a question some people have is, can we sign up for more than 2 lessons? And so because of the sign up process, we're starting with 2 lessons, and it's going to be possible to do more lessons for an extra add-on fee, but we can't promise that until we really see exactly how the sign-ups are laid out. If we're fully booked, it's going to be hard to have extra lessons in terms of the students and more. But if there's available time, that's more of a game time decision, like a week or 2 or so before the event. We'll have a very clear understanding of who's available and when. And I'll definitely be able to, we'll be sending out some information about extra lessons and what that means in the future. So definitely possible, but TBD on that, depending on how the signups go. Jack's asking about, when I signed up, there were not any options to select teachers. There should have been, Jack, but I will talk with you personally about that. I know you're a guitarist, and of course, there should have been an option for you to select whichever guitarist that you would like. So I'll just email you directly about that, and we'll talk. Yu Chao's asking about, will the recitals be recorded and provided to the participants? So the recitals, we actually will record, absolutely, but again, for archival purposes. You could, if you play really well, you're really happy about it, you could use it for your own personal, cut out your portion and send that over to you. But for in terms of the entire recital, we'll not be publicly sharing that or having that available for anyone. It's very much a private thing and just, again, a celebration of everything. So yeah, let's see here. I see that Jack mentioned about being active. So yes, if you sign up for an active membership, it's possible that the teacher selection was not activated because the premium pass is what gets you that teacher selection. So that's important for us to note. If you're really concerned about your teacher selection, I do recommend the premium pass because that's where we can guarantee that. The active pass, we're sending out a sign up for the teachers at a later point for the active members. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. So Jane has a question about parking. So yeah, parking at Colburn is definitely going to be a possibility for people with cars. There's a garage right beneath the school. You take an elevator from the garage straight up and you're at the practice rooms and the studios. So parking will be a follow-up conversation for anyone that has a car and wants to talk with me about that. So how early will things start on the first day? They'll be starting actually in the morning. So they will be starting relatively early. We'll have an orientation meeting on the 22nd. We'll try not to start too early. We might push it back to 9 a.m. instead of like an 8 a.m. time, but we do want to get lessons started, right away at the latest 10 a.m. depending on how all the participants, all the signups go. So we definitely want to get started on the 22nd morning because there's a lot of things to get to for sure. Let's see here. So yeah, in regard to the Omni Hotel, definitely, we're currently negotiating, working on a group rate. So retroactively, that can be applied or, so basically if you've already booked your hotel at the Omni, make sure to email me because we're just right now still negotiating that deal with Omni. Michael is asking about practice rooms at Colburn. Absolutely. So practice rooms are going to be really important for all of us, right? So we're going to need to use them, and we're going to have a block of practice rooms reserved. So one thing that should mention is that when you are attending this event, you'll be having a lanyard with like a key card. And that key card is basically what's going to be able to get you into different rooms that we have access to. Yeah. Absolutely. Practice rooms will be very important. We've thought about that, and we're definitely going to be making sure that everyone has ample practice time. We'll have also a reservation system for practice rooms. So everyone will be basically reserving rooms throughout the day. There will be a system for that, and we'll be informing you guys all of that in the coming month or so as we finalize our participation and more. Yu Chao is asking how many students are expected to attend this festival. So we're expecting somewhere between probably 20 to 30 students at any given time. So 20 to 30 in the first session, probably 20 to 30 in the second session. So it's not a ton. It's not like 100 people. It's also not 5 people. So we're expecting to have kind of a nice atmosphere. Just right is what we like. In the past, with our passive events, 20 to 30 people has been a really nice amount for everyone to feel comfortable, get to know each other, and not feel too big, and also get enough attention. So let's see. So Yu Chao is also asking about option to upgrade to the full session. If at some point you already did session 1, you want to become full session, yeah, absolutely, you can upgrade to full session, Yu Chao. If you have any problems with that, just email me. So again, my email for anyone that's curious is Dominic, Dominic, at tonebase.co. If you email me there, I'll just type that in the chat really quickly. That is going to be, of course, where you want to just send me a link. So let's see here. The next thing that I want to take a look at is the next question that Yu Chao has. How long will each private lesson be? 1 hour. And also, how long will the time of masterclass be for each participating student? Great question. So different events have different aspects. So for example, some of the events will be clinics, more clinic style, where the event will be 2 hours, but we'll have about 12 people with 10 minutes each to ask a question or speak with the master artist, whether it's Garrick Olson, Akiko Myers, or whoever. We've seen that actually that format has proven to have really great results. Why? Because a lot of times people, mainly want to ask a question about the artist, about their advice in practicing. Maybe there's a passage of music that you're really struggling with, maybe a passage in a Chopin etude that you want to bring to Garrick. Maybe you don't want to play the whole etude for Garrick, or maybe it's short, like Opus 10 number 1. But you might just say, this fingering is just so tricky. And then in more of a clinical fashion, Mr. Olson or Akiko, they'll just get right into it with you, answer your question, and then we'll come to the next person, so that a lot of people get access and get to interact with these great artists that are, pretty legendary and a lot of fun to speak with. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at is more clinic style masterclasses. Some of the masterclasses will be more of the standard variety in terms of 3 to 4 people each, having 20 to 25 minutes. But with some of our, really legendary artists like Garrick and Akiko, we know how interested everyone is to speak with them and to have some interaction with them. So we're trying to get as many people involved as possible, rather than limiting it to just a few. So hopefully that's clear. I know there's a few other questions in the chat, so I just want to take a quick look. So Jack had asked a question about Kawada Hotel being a couple of blocks away, cheaper, and some of the ratings are questionable. I certainly know a lot of people that have stayed there and had a fine time. Kawada Hotel is more of a budget hotel, so that just I know it because I've been there and more. It's a budget hotel, so that's basically what we're that's why we're kind of again leaning toward Omni and working with them to try to make that available. And just answering a few more questions. Garrick Olson Masterclass totally open to observers. And let's see here. What else is? So Jack was asking about, is the Colburn School comparable to the San Francisco Conservatory? I would say so. As biased as I might be, and as supportive of Colburn as I am, having been there and it being my alma mater. Personally, I find I've been to both schools, and I think they're both really, really remarkable places. Colburn is a slightly more intimate setting, a little bit smaller, I would say, perhaps than San Francisco. But again, both are really, I guess, state of the art facilities, and yeah, I think that you could benefit from coming to Colburn for sure. And I'm sure at some point maybe something will happen at San Francisco Conservatory, and it's another really amazing place to be. But Colburn's pretty awesome. So we are coming up, toward the end of the stream. So I do want to drop down that coupon code. So if you missed the early bird discount, which was available, this is your chance just for this quick little flash sale to get this discount. So this is only valid for the next 48 hours. So it will expire. I think it's like March 6th at like midnight or something like that. I'd have to double check, but just make sure that between now and the 48 hours from now, this is all it's valid for. So make sure today, tomorrow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to double check that really quick just to give you guys the exact answer. It's going to end on March 6th at 11:59 p.m. Yeah. So that's how long we got. So the discount code is Tonebase LA10. So feel free to use that code on checkout, and that will get you your 10% off discount, which is just a flash sale that we're running. And then after that, it'll go back to being full price, and we'll be wrapping up signups close to April 1st, actually. So the deadline is definitely coming up, and we would love to see you guys there. We'd love to see you at one of our events, because for Tonebase, we have such a good time interacting with all of you and love meeting you in person. And we've had so much fun. I mean, I've had so much fun, certainly at the Adamant Music Camp this past August, and also had a lot of fun at the New York City Intensive. So this is a continuation of all of that, bringing you some of the best artists in the world to work with, and making a lot of new friends along the way. So I'm going to take a look to see if there's any other questions, but I'm not sure I see any. So perhaps I answered all of them. As always, you can email me with any questions or thoughts, but you guys got the discount code. You hopefully have a lot of new information that's helpful, and you got my email. So you can send me any questions that you might have. And again, you have until March 6th, I think, at 11:59 p.m. to use that discount code, and hopefully come see us. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. It's been a real pleasure to speak with you. And yeah, I'm looking really forward to May. We've got a lot of signups coming in already, so it's really looking to be a fun time. And I know Garrick and Anna Kiko and Clive, Scott, they're all really excited to be coming. Jasmine, I was just speaking with her as well. So yeah, and of course myself, Noah, Christian, and more. So thanks, guys. I'll be seeing you next time, and hopefully seeing you in real life in LA. So cheers, and stay in touch. Bye-bye.